Do you know that in the Middle East, earlier known as ancient Mesopotamia, there was a well-developed area called Babylonia? In 1750 BCE, the Babylonian king Hammurabi created a set of laws called the Code of Hammurabi. This is one of the oldest and longest recorded writing in the world. Did you know that Hammurabi's code created because of arguments between the Babylonian people? Hello, my name is Chanmin and I'm time traveler, and I'm here to work for Code of Hammurabi. The artifact that I'm going to talk about is Code of Hammurabi. Now it is in the Louvre Museum. King Hammurabi solved many arguments by inventing laws which helped Mesopotamia to advance forward. First, it tells Hammurabi's code helped people to solve the argument with laws. Second, it tells Hammurabi's code was equal and fair. According to DK Find Out, it says there are arguments between people and they can solve the problem with laws. Also, if you can't solve the problem with the laws either, then you can meet King Hammurabi to solve it. Second, Hammurabi's code was equal and fair. According to book The Babylonian, it said if someone was paying off what he owed in crops and bad weather destroyed his grain, that year's debt payment was cancelled. This code shows how Hammurabi's code helped people and fair. Also, Hammurabi's code tells many facts about Babylonian people's life to archaeologists. Ancient Mesopotamian used stone to make Code of Hammurabi, and they used stone tool to write laws on the stone, and Code of Hammurabi is from ancient Mesopotamian, especially Babylonia. Shape of Code of Hammurabi is like a finger, it's black, it's gray, and it feels smooth and shiny. Size of my artifact is 2.25 meter times 55 centimeter, and it weighs 4 tons, and there is no movable part. On my artifact, there are pictures of Hammurabi and God, and underneath that picture, there are 282 laws written on it. I think Code of Hammurabi might use for judgment and solving argument, and King Hammurabi might use it around 1700 and 1600 BCE in Babylonia. Code of Hammurabi tells us about the culture universal in that time. It talks about the social structure and government in Babylonia. Also, picture that is on the Code of Hammurabi tell us they worshipped God. And in modern time, laws, school rules, airline rules, soccer rules, baseball rules are similar with Code of Hammurabi. I learned that laws helped Hammurabi to rule his land for a long time and rule his land organized. Also, I learned that laws are really important to rule city. Also, I think Hammurabi's code is related to writing and government and social structure. As I mentioned, Hammurabi's code relates to writing because if there was no writing, people wouldn't remember that more than 200 laws. Secondly, I think Hammurabi's code is related to the government because it helps King Hammurabi to rule this land well and long. Lastly, I think Code of Hammurabi is related to social structure because it tells the laws were unfair to slaves. For example, if no more person breaks someone's bone, then he need to break his bone. But if no more person breaks slave's bone, then he need to pay only half value of that slave. Lastly, I want audience to remember that King Hammurabi solved many arguments and helped people by inventing laws known as Hammurabi's Code, and this code helped Mesopotamia to advance forward.